Sandra, you look well rested and completely sane. So congratulations.
I'm faking it very well. This is the most tired I've ever been in my life.
There's a good thing that happens though, like at least I found in our experience that like after, I don't know, it was around 2 years or something, it was like our brain sort of erased that experience. Like we remember the good, like really touching aspects, and I have to work really hard to remember the times that I wanted to end it all.
Yeah, he like just
it's
smiled.
It's why people
earlier.
have many kids. Otherwise, we would only have one.
Yeah, he smiled and laughed earlier, and I was like, "Oh, this is totally worth it. He's so cute. He doesn't keep me up all night."
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cutest little thing that I've ever seen in my life. My heart is just, I didn't know I could love something this much.
Yeah, that is completely understandable, as it should be.
It's amazing the hours
You'll rest when he's 20, so you're good.
Are you a new parent, Sandra?
Yep. Yeah, my son was
Congratulations.
born 2 weeks ago today.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I used to wake up Adam every time either one of my kids would wake me up, just to make him miserable with me.
I do that on the weekends, but since he has to work manual labor, I'm like, I'll do the weekdays. You can have the weekends.
You're kinder than I am.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he can sleep through it all, because we're not quiet when he wakes me up.
Yeah.
Being able to ignore your kids is a special skill, a hard skill.
How are we doing? Are we good to go?
I'm ready to go when you are.
All right. I'm just chatting here. Okay. So I am going to call Public Works Committee to order. And if we can put the public participation page up. We continue to meet via Zoom. And if you would like to provide public comment, please use your lower hand feature to raise and lower your hand to let us know you would like to provide public comment. If you are participating by phone, you can raise and lower your hand by pressing star 9 and star 6 to unmute and mute yourself. If you would like to provide general comments or comments on a specific item agenda, you can always leave a voice message for the entire City Council. You can call 655-26012, or you can email us at council@ci.missoula.mt.us. And if we could get a roll call, please, Ashley.
Anderson? Becerra?
Present.
Contos?
Here.
Harp? Hess?
Present.
Jones?
Present.
Merritt?
Present.
Ramos?
Present.
Cheryl?
Present.
Vasika?
Present.
Von Lossberg?
Here.
West?
Here.
Anderson?
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. And next we have minutes to approve from our last meeting, April 7th. Are there any changes to those minutes? Okay, seeing none, those will stand approved. And thank you so much to Whoever took the minutes, I know that was a very long meeting with lots of words, so I appreciate it. Next, let's go to public comment. I'm seeing one person in the public, phone number ending 1093. Please let us know if you would like to provide comment on any item not on the agenda. Hello? Okay. Seeing none, we will go to our first item on the agenda, and that is a noise ordinance variance for the Missoula to Bonner I-90 Montana Department of Transportation project. And Katie, you'll be introducing this to us?
Yep. So I'm Katie Emery. I'm the Admin Services Manager for Public Works and Mobility. And I was just going to introduce this agenda item to you, as well as Jacqueline Smith, who's here with us from MDT. And so she can take over from here and answer any questions you may have.
Katie, just real quick, I'm working with Brett Lloyd. He is going to be the construction project manager on this project, and he's working on getting connected as well. So I don't know, Brett, if you're on the line yet.
I am. Can you hear me?
That
Yes.
was our mystery caller. Great.
Yes, that must be me. Yes.
So, yes, I'm going to apologize first off. This is a late request that is coming to the city. This was not realized initially, but this is a project, Missoula to Bonner, that has been let and awarded for construction. And we do plan on beginning construction in May. And we are expecting that there is going to be night work occurring with milling operations and some concrete barrier rail work. And so we're asking for a noise variance to allow this night work to happen, just for a few reasons in allowing construction duration to be shortened. It's also safer, we found, in certain situations for the public and the construction crews. And especially this being an interstate project, less impact to the traveling public. So we are expecting this work to occur between May and September. And there will be some detours and lane closures depending on where that milling work and barrier, or there's some bridge surfacing work happening as well. I'm gonna just pause there and let Brett, fill in any gaps that I may have left out.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything. It's going to be a mill and fill job, starting at the Van Buren interchange and going to the Bonner interchange over the Blackfoot River. We're going to mill out the passing lane and do some bridge approach milling and paving, and then we're going to replace all the old barrier rail that divides east and westbound from Van Buren to East Missoula, and update all of that rail with our new MDT 3-ring standard. All of this work is scheduled to be done at night. Besides the chipping and some of the bridge seal work, those are temperature dependent. So I think the noise ordinance would pretty much be covering those milling and those operations for that. For the barrier rail and the paving. I don't necessarily know exactly what their schedule is, since it was just let. We haven't had any pre-construction meetings at this time, but we're working on getting those schedules out. Are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any hands up. Thank you both. And I appreciate that this is a necessary and programmed project and work. I guess one question I have for both of you and or Katie is, what is the public notice or information to the community so that they know what to expect?
That's a great question. And we have Big Sky Public Relations on board to handle the public outreach, just like what you've been seeing on Higgins and Reserve Street. So they'll be very active in updating the community on what we have going on for construction work throughout the duration of the project.
Great. Thanks, Jacqueline. Julie.
I'd be happy to make the recommended motion.
Perfect. Thanks. Is there we have a motion on the floor, any public comment? We don't have anyone on the public. So with that, let's take a roll call vote, please, Ashley.
Anderson,
Yes.
Becerra,
Yes.
Contos,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Vasika,
Yes.
Von Lossberg,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Okay, that is 12 yeses.
Great. So that'll go on our consent agenda. Jacqueline, Brett, and Katie, thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay. Our second item of business is a service agreement with Sprinkler Maniac LLC for the poplar plantation irrigation and maintenance. And Ross, will you be presenting, or Jean?
I believe Jean was going to present this.
Oh, Jean. Okay, now I see Jean.
Yeah, I can present that.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is Gene Connell, Resource Recovery Facility Superintendent. And I would like to recommend approval for a service agreement with Sprinkler Maniacs to maintain the irrigation system at the poplar plantation. In the past, Dennis Bowman and John DeBari, who was a partner with Hybrid Energy Group, worked really hard to minimize costs of maintaining the poplar plantation. And last fall, we purchased HEG, and we're now directly managing the poplar plantation. The idea of this was to cut out the middleman and help control operational costs. For the previous 2 growing seasons, HEG used Sprinkler Maniacs to service the irrigation system. It's not a simple system, it's pretty complicated. And Sprinkler Maniacs has the experience, personnel, and equipment to do the work. And I believe it's in the city's best interest to use them.
Great. Thank you, Jean. Any questions from council members? Okay. Anybody would like to make the recommended motion? Thank you, Julie, or Amber.
I'm happy to make the recommended motion.
Okay, great. And Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Jean and Ross for answering some questions about this that my colleague and I had. Heidi was more the lead on that, but wanted to thank you both for being so responsive.
No problem.
Sounds good. Heidi?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing as Brian. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer all my questions. I think this is a really valuable resource for our community and an important part of our wastewater system, and I support this motion.
Great. Resource recovery. Great. So we have a motion on the floor. Thank you. And we'll take public comment. Seeing no public, let's have a roll call vote on this. Ashley, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
Becerra,
Yes.
Contos,
Yes.
Harp,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Vasika,
Yes.
Von Lossberg,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Okay, that is 12 yeses.
Great. So that too will go on our consent agenda. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Right. So moving along to our third item is a bid award with Western Excavating for the third and Myrtle water main replacement. And Andy, is that you presenting?
That is, yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Schultz, utility engineer with Public Works. We have a limited solicitation that we put out for just a small water main replacement at the intersection of 3rd and Myrtle. If you guys will indulge me, I can kind of just take you on a quick virtual tour here. Let's see if you guys can see my screen. So the streets department has plans for doing a mill and overlay and some ADA improvements at the intersection of 3rd and Myrtle. And then we've got a grant to do some striping for a new crosswalk in this area. I think it's going to be a really great project. We've identified the main in 3rd Street as a priority main to be replaced. We have a larger project to replace that from Myrtle all the way down to Orange Street. But due to contractor availability and going through a SRF process, we can't get that full project out to bid right now. So what we're proposing to do is award this work to Western Excavating to just extend the water main out of this project vicinity, so that we're out of any new asphalt and work that's going to be done. So we did send out the limited solicitation to 3 contractors. We had 2 reply back. Screen's not working, but we had let's see, we had two elect to reply back. One of them didn't, and Western was the low bid. So basically what this will do is extend our water main to about the location of this small tree, if you guys can see my cursor. And then we'll replace that fire hydrant that's at the corner of 3rd and Myrtle, and get it kind of away from this ADA ramp. So when they come in, replace that with updated ADA ramp. Our fire hydrant is updated to the newest hydrant and out of the way. So with that, I take any questions.
Andy, how long will that take? How long is the amount of, like, how long will it take to make that replacement?
So they're proposing to be in there May 17th. We gave them till they've got to be out of there by June 1st. I don't anticipate that it's actually going to take that long. I think the work itself will take about seven working days total to be there. So traffic control is an issue because, you know, we do have we're shut down over here by Higgins due to the bridge work. So where they're tapping the main, they'll be required to maintain 2-way traffic, so vehicles can get in and out along this block and come out Myrtle.
And the businesses are going to be notified?
Yep. We've already been in contact with them pretty heavily just for this intersection work anyway, and then we'll send letters ahead of the project to let them know.
Great. Gwen.
Thanks. I don't have any questions, but I'd like to make the recommended motion and just give a brief comment, if that's okay with the chair.
Yes, great. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, you referenced it, thank you so much, but I just wanted to point out that yes, this entire intersection is being redone to make it better for pedestrians and bicyclists. It's historically been a really busy little intersection with traffic and bikes and pedestrians and with not very good visibility. So I know this is one of these scenarios where, yes, the water main needs to be replaced, and kind of building on the fact that the whole thing's going to be torn up, they're going to redo the entire intersection, making it better for everyone. And I know that, I just wanted to point out, I think that Ben Weiss and Aaron Miller were working on this, and they got grant money. I cannot remember from what entity, but they got grant money to do the reconfiguration for the better pedestrian crossings, and really looking forward to it. And so I'm excited to get started with the water main and have the rest follow.
Great, thanks for that, Gwen. Yeah, this is another example of our departments working together so that we can minimize the impact to the community. So I appreciate that as well. Okay, we have a motion on the floor and no public to provide public comment. No more, I don't see any more questions. So with that, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Anderson? Sarah?
Sorry, I'm
Yes.
here. It was like my screen changed and I couldn't find the unmute button. So sorry if I had that like wild deer in the look on my face. Yes, I vote yes.
Thank you. Sarah?
Yes.
Contos?
Yes.
Harp?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Merritt?
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Vasika?
Yes.
Von Lossberg?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
That is 12 yeses.
Great, so that too will go on our consent agenda. And Andy, you're presenting next the amendment to Keras Park Stormwater Outfall. So go ahead.
Thanks. I actually just caught today that I think I made a mistake when I gave the information for the referral. I think I must have had a typo. This is actually the first amendment to the contract, but so we have Morrison Merrily under contract to do a design for Keras Park to update the stormwater facilities there. So we currently have a hydrodynamic separator that was installed as part of phase one. That takes a lot of the trash and debris out of the stormwater before it outfalls right there by Brennan's Wave. So what this project is going to do is install an infiltration gallery and a weir structure. So basically the first flush of stormwater, which usually carries the most pollutants, gets diverted into the infiltration gallery, gets infiltrated, and then anything beyond that, the stormwater is cleaner, and then that will actually go out into the Clark Fork River. So it's a project to improve water quality at a pretty highly visible stormwater outfall. And so we've identified during the course of design a couple of efficiencies that we can have. So we're partnered with Parks and Rec to have this coincide with Keras Park improvements, or at least a phase one of Keras Park improvements. And during that phase, we identified some additional work for Morrison Merrily to do, including which is covered by this amendment. So this amendment covers some work to with that park work, we can get rid of a storm drain line that currently runs under the restrooms that are located out there, which is less than ideal to have a building on top of the restroom. So we're going to be able to abandon that and install a couple of dry wells. So there's a little bit of additional design work there. And then the main item of work that we are looking to have them do is we need to put a gate on the end of the pipe where it discharges into the river. And this gate basically allows stormwater to flow out, but it won't allow river water to flow into the pipe. So the elevation of this pipe sits such that when we have really high water, the river comes up and it flows back into this pipe. By installing this we won't get that water back into our pipe. We have to do that regardless, but because of that parks improvement, this is going to be eventually this will be a major river access point. And the stormwater pipe is going to be basically in the middle of that river access point, the way it's currently designed. So as part of this project, what we're proposing to have more summarily do is design a nice looking outfall head wall. So basically a little wall that the pipe will be flush with that we can mount this flap gate on, and then do some rock landscaping around it to kind of hide it and make it look a little bit more in the natural landscape. So it's not just a big concrete pipe that's sticking out with a piece of metal on the end. And so that requires some permitting because we will be in the floodplain for that work, and then some design around that head wall. So, and then I should mention that we do have a renewable resource grant that covers this work. So it covers the engineering. And so we'll shift this additional engineering fund into that resource grant so that will be paying for this work.
Great, thanks, Andy. Yeah, I think that this is it's something that needs to get done, and it will certainly be an important component of that planning process. So I think it's good to combine them so that the goal is to provide safe and clean access to our river for the community is important. Katie, go ahead.
Thanks. I just wanted to provide some clarification, as this is a miscommunication on my part with Andy. So this is amendment number 2 because Parks and Rec had amendment number 1 this fall. So this is the second one for this project.
Great. Thanks for that. Heather.
Martin, I'd like to make the recommended motion, if I might just speak to that.
Yes, please.
So I'm sure all of my colleagues do this from time to time. When you have an opportunity, you ask constituents what they value in terms of quality of life in Missoula. And just last week, I was in a small Zoom room doing that very same thing. And the top 3 things are always going to include education, the people of Missoula, and some form of the natural bounty that we enjoy here. The river is one of those natural elements and the reason why I chose Missoula, Montana to reside in. And so I appreciate anytime we're talking about protecting the quality of our water, because it from both a economic perspective, but also an enjoyable component. It's really critical that we protect the water, because I think any one of us who's traveled outside of Montana or even somewhere within these borders, the water just is not as good as Missoula, Montana's water. So I support everything we can to protecting the quality of the water that we enjoy.
Great, thanks for that. So we have a motion on the floor. There's no public to provide public comment. So let's go ahead and take a roll call vote, please.
Anderson? Becerra?
Yes.
Contos?
Yes.
Harp?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Merritt?
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Vasika?
Yes.
Von Lossberg?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Okay, that's 11 yeses.
Great, thanks. Anderson's here.
Oh.
Sorry, gosh. Apologies for the technical difficulties on my end. Yes, thank you. I vote yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I believe that makes it 12 yeses, correct?
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you, Andy, for all the information. That too will be on our consent agenda. And that was our last item. So we would be adjourned. Thank you, everyone.